Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. It it got crazy. I hit the wrong button and suddenly I got to this screen. I couldn't get out of it. So I'm back. Get back to my sewing here. Hopefully I didn't lose all my loyal watchers. You probably seeing my head. Wait, that serrated edge is going to be a bear. Okay. This is why I need a full-time person just to run my video system. My computer started overheating too, so I would have had to restart it in a minute anyway. Oh, there's somebody. Oh, welcome back. Thank you. it I hit some button to I was trying to see what Kenneth had said, and in hitting something, I ended up enabling like import some other media, and I could not get out of that screen. And then my computer started overheating, so I had to restart. This claw is so much like just sewing a regular mouth. I'm having to bunch up the fabric just a little bit here. This is live or Memorex. It is live. Well, you know what, though? At least it makes it interesting. Wouldn't be one of my videos without at least one freak out. Boy, this fabric stretched so much that look at how much it's off now. That's okay, though. We used to have part of a lobster in the shop. It was the body. I think it was a SpongeBob character that they had done for Crank Yankers, and I used to put different heads on it. It was just the body, and I kind of wish I had it now just to see how they did it. I think they just made it L200 and then painted it. I don't think they put fabric over it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut away all this and sew up this other end. I don't want to cut away too much. Yoink. I think I'm going to cut that off, though. Well, I'm glad there's a little bit more fabric than a little too little, less fabric. Ouch. Okay. I'll work my way around this other side. And then I'm going to have to basically go tooth by tooth getting each of these done. I didn't. In fact, I should. Let me do that right now. Stretch goes there. Stretch goes like that. See, you guys don't let me be lazy. That's a good idea. TC. Red Lobster could do it. Futurama, Hulu could. I mean, if I don't sell it right away, I may go down because Rough Draft Studios is actually pretty close to me, relatively. And I've gone down there before. I could go over to Glendale and parade out in front of them until they open the door with him. Maybe I'll get a job out of it. Oh, I can also draw. I just feel like every show has done a puppet episode, and there's not much comedy gold to be mined from there. Okay. Back on to the fun. I'll get it on screen in just a second. I got a nice jagged seam, but that's okay. I don't care anymore. Ouch. How does everybody feel about a single claw on Zoidberg? I'll put a single claw on one and just a hook on the other hand. That sounds like a good idea to me. From that very special episode of Futurama. I say that with every puppet, by the way. Could be molting. Not claw. Yeah, no, I'm not. It's just tedious. I'm certainly not going to videotape both of them, or well, we'll see how I go. Usually, I only do one of the hands since it's pretty much the same process. But I enjoy your guys' company as I do these things. I mean, I think so. Here's my dilemma coming up. Is I did get this new fabric for the outfit, and the old fabric was stretchy. The new fabric is not, but I think that it doesn't really matter, because the stretchy one I didn't really use the stretch on, so we'll see. I may end up just keeping the fabric that I have for the undershirt, but that's probably the next thing I do is trying to figure that out, because I only want to have to make that coat once. And if I make it and then have to remake it, make the undershirt, that's going to be a mess. So I don't even know what I'm talking about, to be honest. That looks wonderful. Okay. Then I have to go back here and I have to sew this part up because I cut that and I had to go back 9 stitches. Come on. No, don't do this to me now. See, that's why you want to put a stitch every 9, is because I when I cut the end off of that, I only have to go back like 6 stitches to where there's another knot, because I cut off like 3 of the stitches. Come on. No, no, no. Darn it. Okay, well. Those loops are going to be the death of me. Okay, so I got the lower claw done on this guy. I still got to go up the back here. Maybe I'll do that next. I'm trying to put off this as long as I can. Actually, this is not going to be that difficult, I don't think. I think I just basically have to trace. I have to trace along this edge and just cut it off nice and tight, and then I can just whip stitch it all the way around, or ladder stitch it all the way around. I think that'll be okay. What happened to my glasses? I'm tempted to see what you said about the stick of butter, but yeah. All right, I'm gonna, I guess, start working on that other. I'm gonna sew up the back, and then I'll get to that upper claw, and at least get one arm done. I'm gonna probably finish it to at least here. I really want to finish it all the way to the end here, but I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna have enough fabric, so we'll see. Maybe I'll finish to 2 hands, and then whatever fabric I have left, finish off the 2 arms. Because they're going to be covered by that sleeve anyway. I just want to make sure I have it till about here. However far I go, it'll only be an inch shorter than it needs to be. It always is the way it is that it always rides up just a little bit farther than you think it's going to. Oh my gosh. Come on. It is caught on every single one of these pins as I go through here. This is what I get for trying to put off the inevitable. Doing those serrated edges. So this is the true ladder stitch here. This is where you do it loose and then pull it straight after like every 9 stitches. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, so I'm gonna tighten it up. What's worse is when you don't see that you've done it, and then you end up going like 6 more stitches and then see that you have this big loop of thread. I want to be sure and put that rod in before I finish up the mouth too, because I may never get it back in there otherwise. Slowly but surely becoming a claw. Slowly but surely hitting every pin that's in this thing. Okay, I think I'm going to leave this open for now, just in case I decide I want to tie that wrist in the correct way or if I want to do it the fast way. Yay! Fantastic. It's great to know about your project. Maybe getting me some work. How's your king prawn coming? Are you still working on that? Okay, what's the best way to tackle this now? think I'm just going to cut this one at a time. Oh, before I do anything, I do want to put that rod back in. I say and then don't do anything about it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm never going to get this back in. See if I can find it. Okay, there it is. All right, there's his arm, kind of. Okay. Yeah, I think these arm rods are still going to be removable. They're just going to be really difficult to remove or put back in. I have to say this is already easier than doing the bottom one for some reason. I think because they're all pretty shallow and there aren't as many pins in it anymore. Everybody's going to say, so how'd you spend your evening? And you'd be like, I watched this guy struggle with thread for 2 hours. I got one little tooth done, one serrated piece done. Let's see if we can do the next one. Sorry, I'm doing my best here. Okay, I got that one done. That was a little hairy. I was just trying to cut away a little bit of this backing because it was showing up on the front side. Because of the way that I had the stretch on this fabric, there is a little bit of give on it, which is nice, especially if it's not quite the right size. Which I'm doing the best I can to get it the right size, but I don't always succeed. Okay, what do we got here? At least I know that I'm not the only one who deals with these issues. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I get as much out of these things as you guys do. I know that I see puppetry as like one of the things about cartooning that was always difficult for me anyway was it was kind of one man band. I it got pretty lonely pretty fast. And puppet building is kind of the same thing unless you're in a shop or have other people to do it with. And I get a little bit of that shop feeling from these little live streams. It would be interesting, I think, to get on with another builder that had kind of a similar setup as I do, and we could go at the same time working on maybe similar projects and talk our way through what we're dealing with in live time without having to go through uh, all the chat stuff and everything. Maybe that can be a Patreon for someday. Okay, well, I got that first. That's almost done. Oops. So that's going to be difficult. A little bit. Tell you what, gluing down that flat piece was a really good idea. I've never done that before, and I just thought it would be a way to do it that would keep that piece in place long enough for me to actually get this thing done. It seems to have worked out great. As I show you on, as I take everything off camera here. Okay. Almost done. Almost done with one claw. Here's where we're at right now with this thing. All right. So I've got all kinds of pieces that I've trimmed off just hanging on this thing. So there's one arm. We're starting to get there. I just have that one serrated edge still to do, which I'll do right now. And then this guy's done, which is great, except for his arm. Ouch. And there's a pin in there still. I was like, what's that down on the bottom? Oh, it's a pin. Ouch. I mean, that might be an interesting way to do it. He asked, would we be both building the same character or two different characters? Example, Warner Brothers or their sister Dot or Pinky and the Brain. Like we could do something like that if we were to do it. Like maybe one of us did Pinky and one did the Brain. Be kind of similar but different. I don't know. Or like Mario and Luigi or something like that. I mean, God, that's interesting. I mean, it's just kind of an idea. Could be the same character. We should have we should have a national Popeye Day where we all build Popeye. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. We should talk about this. Yeah, probably. That's probably a good call on what would be which. But like we could use the same fur and so they would look cohesive. And maybe have the a basic size idea. So they would kind of live in the same world. Yeah, I don't know. I think there might be something to this. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of using this tubing in the shoelace method that I use. I use it on almost every puppet, whether it needs it or not. I used to not like a lot of structure. Like I don't think Mayberry has any structure in his arm, but I've gotten kind of good at. Really, Eddie was or I guess Tilly was the first puppet I really started doing that with. But I really used Eddie so much, and he has that setup that I've gotten to be kind of a fan of how he can manipulate it. This was the first time I did the double, put the padding inside the tube. Usually they're just kind of a set size. Or like on Benjamin Franklin, I had a couple of different kind of kidney bean shapes for the. Boy, I need Laura to help me thread this needle. There we go. Hey, boy. Oh, Mr. Peabody. Although they're so different than each other. Although, I tell you, I've always wanted to build a Bullwinkle. I think that'd be awesome. I think I'm only going to do puppets, and maybe this is limiting to me because I sometimes find I can do voices after I've built the puppet, as happened with Miss Piggy. But I should just do puppets of all I should just do puppets of all the characters I can do voices of. Oops, I almost unthreaded this needle. Which would be why I would do a Bullwinkle. I used to do that. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my head. This time for sure. Passable. Looks like a 7.5. The one I used to do when I was in high school more than anything was Mr. Jinx the cat. You remember him from Pixie and Dixie? I can't do Pixie or Dixie, but I can do Jinx the cat. Which, you know, all those pesky missiles. I hate those missiles to pieces. It's my birthday, and they did not give me a birthday cake. So I have decided to stomp them. Anyway, I used to do that one all the time. That was one of my favorite voices that I could do. And now nobody knows who he is. Get my bald head out of there. Tell you what, this rod's making it difficult now to get on this side. And to think, I only have one more of these to deal with. I'm just glad this worked because, like I said, I don't have very much fabric. And that could have been devastating to get all this way and only find out I didn't get the pattern done right. I would never match this fabric. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Well, it's a good thing I think I cut one of the threads there. Good thing I tied a knot before I went on. Another reason to tie a knot. Yeah, I agree. I can do the Pink Panther voice. Tom and Jerry can do that one too. Yeah, Hanna-Barbera. Things I loved about the Hanna-Barbera, the original Hanna-Barberas, is that even though the animation was pretty, pretty basic, the voice talent was so great. I mean, they had to make up for the, and same with Jay Ward stuff. Had to be real good voice talent in order to make up for the not so great animation. Home stretch. Yeah, I know I've talked about this before, although I don't know if I talked about it on in the feed. A teacher of mine in high school made a documentary about Dawes Butler before he died. Who was the guy who did Yogi Bear and Snagglepuss and Huckleberry Hound and all those characters. And so he did a documentary about him um, when I was in high school. One of my teachers, and it's great. It's on YouTube and everything. It's called Dawes Butler Voice Magician. And if you want to ever learn anything about voice acting, watch that documentary. It's like an hour, but there's so much of that old talent in there. Like June Foray's in it, and Don Messick, and Penny Singleton's in it, and a couple other people. You know, all those old timer. Stan Freberg. It's great. Highly recommend it. That's one of the things that was in that was if you can look like the character, you can you can sound like the character. And I always think about that. Okay. Did I just cut that again? I did. Okay. Cut that off. Okay. Everybody excited? I know I'm excited. That if we built snouts. Okay, I just realized that if we built snorks, you already have the mold for the eyes. I do. They have the same eyes as Melonpool. That's true. Uh, they do. The Smurfs do. Opus does. That's where it all came from. Was looking at all that stuff. Yeah, the Snorks. In fact, if you pattern the Snorks, you could basically make the Smurfs as well because it's exactly the same. It's just a different way of doing the top of the head, either a hat or the snorkel. You know, as slapdash as this all was coming together, this claw turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Just don't look at it too close. All right. All right, so there's his first arm, minus the actual arm part. There's his first hand. So it's a little big, but that's okay. I don't mind. And actually, in person, it's only about half the size of his head. Let me get back to where's my model, model sheet here. I may have to rethink this thing. Let's see. Well, his hands are pretty good size. They're about half the size of his head, maybe a little bit smaller. I'm okay with it. Okay, I think I'm gonna have some dinner, so I probably won't be on again tonight. But thank you for being here when I made his right hand. I'll make his left hand and his arm tomorrow, or maybe a little bit later tonight. But all that's left is making the new shirt and patterning his coat. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.